So in this video, we're going to pick up where we left off in the last video and actually install WordPress into our hosting account that we just set up. You'll notice under products now on this main screen, I now have a link called web hosting. When I select, I can see my approvedreno.com hosting account. That's the one we set up in the last video. I'm going to select launch. That'll take me to my hosting dashboard, and on the right hand side I'm going to go ahead and select on view all apps. And once I've done that, I come to this page, and you'll notice on the right hand side I've got my management. So I've got my applications, notification settings, and some other things. In the center of the screen I've got all the different applications that I could install. Obviously in this case we're going to install WordPress. So in the center I'm going to select that, and that's going to take us to a screen where we can install it. There's a lot of information here. You'll notice it's WordPress 3.03 at this point. Obviously that changes all the time. And you'll see in the top right it said this application is compatible with at least one of your hosting accounts, which is a good thing. Kind of make sure you got things set up right. So I just hit install now, and now we've ended up on a page where we're going to agree to the GoDaddy disclaimer, and then we're going to start filling out some information. Oh, excuse me, we need to choose a domain first. We obviously already set up our domain or our hosting, which has the domain name. Remember, our domain actually really isn't on this particular hosting account, but that's what we set this up as, so all the names are correct. Then we're going to hit next. Later on in this video, we'll actually attach the domain or point the domain to this installation. So after we hit next, now we're going to do the database username. I'm going to just put a WordPress for example site. Always be cognizant of the tool tips. Remember, make sure you've got the number of characters, the numbers and letters you need, and then just hit next or click on next. And on this one, we want to choose which directory we want to install this in. This is going to be the main site, so we're going to delete any directory. It's not going to be blog or anything. It's just going to be approvedreno.com, and when somebody types that in, it'll take us to the site. So in this case, I'm going to delete that and just have the root directory. Then we'll fill this in. I'm going to kind of go past this real quick. I'm going to fill this in, and we'll move forward to the next screen. And now that we're on this screen, you'll notice that your installation request for WordPress 3.03 has been submitted. I'm going to select my applications. So I'm going back to my applications page here. And on the right hand side, again, here's my manage my applications where I was just a minute ago. You'll notice it is now creating a database on approvedreno.com, and that is for my WordPress installation. So it hasn't completely installed yet. We're going to give it a little time and come back to it. And when we do, we're going to start back at the main screen. So I left it for an hour, 2 hours, and came back to see if it was there. Now I select launch, same path we just went. And we're going to go to my applications one more time. You'll actually notice on this screen we've got a little bit of information, hosting dashboard, the IP address is here as well. We'll come back to that. So we're going to view all apps. And manage my applications. And now you can see we have WordPress installed or successfully installed under my applications. So now that we have that, we want to point our domain to this IP address, the IP address on the hosting dashboard. Remember in the last video when we set up the hosting, I have my domain, this Approved Reno, on a different or in a different GoDaddy account. So I'm going to go to that account, and that's actually Dealer Trend Web Solutions. And this is the Dealer Trend reseller account for GoDaddy. And once I've done that, I'm going to go choose my domain and go to that domain and kind of skip past some things there. I've got a lot of domains in here. So now I'm managing the approvedreno.com domain. Under DNS Manager, we're going to select Launch. and we're going to see this screen. This is the zone file editor. I'm going to click on the pencil to the right of my IP, and we're going to change that IP address because we're going to point this domain to the IP of where that hosting is. And that's the hosting I just copied off of that hosting dashboard just a moment ago. Once we've done that, we're going to save the zone file. And I'm going to type in, again, a little time lapse here. Sometimes it could take a couple hours before that happens. I did the TTL down to a half an hour, so usually it's pretty quick. So I've come back and I've typed in approvedreno.com, and here's my site. This is the WordPress 2010 theme. This is their out-of-the-box theme that you get now with the new WordPress installations. On the bottom, I'm going to click Login and put my username and password and log into my dashboard. So now I'm at my WordPress dashboard. This is where you can start adding themes, you can add plugins, and really start to design your site the way you want it. You'll notice there's some pre-installed plugin content on the bottom. You can go to the plugin directory, look for different popular plugins, the most recent news, that kind of thing. Thank you much. Have fun with your WordPress site.